The important aspects of the mud crab steamed with glutinous rice is the fact that it is crab and rice combined in that particular cooking technique that makes the rice absorb all the flavor of the crab. The cooking technique also emulates the original dish where it's steamed with the lid on but on a low flame to let all those flavors melt with each other. Welcome to Taiwan. Hi everyone, it's Jason Wang and welcome to Jason's Table. Today I've made my way to the southern part of Taiwan, to the city of Tainan, where I'm looking for a restaurant with a 60-year history. It's been a favorite of presidents. Director Li An has been here before, and it is known as, in some circles, as the President's Restaurant. So this is the A-Sha or A-Sha Restaurant. I know the chef, he's waiting for us, so let's go say hi. Chef Wu, this restaurant, 60 years of experience at this restaurant. I'm on a quest to find some classic Taiwanese dishes that really represent the flavors of Taiwan. So if I am looking for a dish to be recommended for people coming to visit Taiwan, which dish would you recommend and why?
如果真的要推荐，我一定会推荐我们家的红蟳米糕。那它就是我们家的招牌菜，几乎只要到我们店里面，一定会点这道菜。
Could we trouble you to demonstrate how this dish is prepared?
可以，我们现在去吧。
Okay. All right. Thanks. Chef Wu's restaurant in the gourmet foodie capital of Taiwan, Tainan, is considered the top choice for many presidential diplomatic events. With a history of 60 years, this restaurant is often the top choice of many government officials and dignitaries. Today, Chef Wu is going to show us the signature dish of this restaurant. It's going to be amazing. It's clear that Chef Wu has handled these ingredients many times before, dealing with the mushrooms and the pork. The way that he's cutting it, there's a specific specification for the size, the shape, to provide the best flavor experience. So mushrooms and 2 different cuts of pork. They get sautéing, and that really brings out the flavor. Mushrooms need oil, the pork is fatty. All those aromas are getting developed in the wok. Steaming is a wonderful cooking method that's used in a lot of Taiwanese cuisine. And having peanuts and shiitake mushrooms and the crab all together with the rice, putting that in the steamer is gonna lock in all those flavors and let everything percolate and permeate and penetrate every last grain of rice. It's gonna be super delicious.
我要杀螃蟹。
There's really an art to how Chef Wu is taking care of the crab. So the lid needs to be taken off, the gills need to be trimmed. There's a specific way to cut the crab so that all the best parts of it will be visible to the guest. All the flavor can escape out. So this is something that has been practiced and it's been thought through, and that's why the preparation of the crab is just expert level. Wow, this looks incredible. So, Chef, This is your famous house specialty, 红蟳米糕, otherwise known as steamed mud crab with glutinous rice. So I think it's amazing. You have crab, you have scallops, you have shrimp, and you found a way to bring all those flavors together in a really luxurious way. Okay, it looks delicious. Another thing that I really love about this dish is that rice has its lovely chewy texture and there are all these little flavor pops. So as you're eating, there's that textural contrast between the chewy rice and then all those the starchy peanuts and then the toothsome little mushroom bits. And I think that's a key component of this dish. Here is the... Put it in here. So I'm gonna try this. Bite the crab. And you're absolutely right. The texture of the crab roe almost tastes like egg yolk, a little bit like salted duck. Yeah. Delicious, and you have that crab flavor that's permeating the rice and really good. This is so, I mean, I've had it before, but it's even better than I remember. Oh, wow. So excellent. So excellent. Wow. Wondering if you have time, if I cook something for you, would you have time to come try it? Yeah, I'm gonna try making something and I hope you'll enjoy it. So thank you for having us at A-Sha Restaurant, a treasure of Thailand and Taiwan, and one of the classic Masterful dishes. So thank you so much. Thank you. In Taiwanese cuisine, you'll often see ingredients that are later getting mixed into something else or stewed or braised. They are sautéed first. Why? Well, that really brings out the aromas and the flavor. So the oil hitting hot fat, aromas building that layers of depth and layers of flavor. That is a key element in Taiwanese cuisine. So I tasted the delicious steamed mud crab with glutinous rice at Chef Wu's restaurant. And later on, one of his chefs is gonna come over and taste the dish that I create. So what am I gonna make? I've decided to pull on a little bit of Iranian inspiration, and I'm gonna make a saffron herbed rice, this time using king crab. This is a really unique way to cook rice that I learned. And it's basically boiling it like pasta. So just like in Chef Wu's dish, the rice is going to be pre-cooked and then steamed again. So I gotta make sure that I pull this rice right at the right time. So I'm gonna let it cook until it's al dente, so meaning that it's still firm in the middle. And then as we mix it with other ingredients and steam it again, it's gonna get to a perfect, chewy, tender consistency. And I want to stir the whole time so the grains, as the starch is starting to get cooked through at the outside in the water, it doesn't stick to the bottom. The rice is al dente, so I'm going to pour it out. And it's important to wash off the starch. So what I love about this dish is that it plays on some of the flavors that are familiar in Asian cuisines, but it uses them in a slightly different way. So scallion, one of the classic flavorings, and I think it's important, use the whole thing, you get the best flavor. Now dill is seen not so often in Asian cuisine, but sometimes used in Vietnamese cuisine. I love to make dumplings with dill, but I think dill is one of those underappreciated flavors that goes really well with lots of different things. So putting this in the rice, very traditional for Persian cuisine, but a little bit different for Taiwanese, I think. So putting this in, and just thinking about classic flavor and pairing combinations, dill goes great with seafood, so it makes sense that it would pair well with the crab. Okay. One more, parsley. You can use flat leaf or curly. I'm using curly parsley this time.
And the parsley's in. A little bit of garlic, chopped up. And typically, additions like pistachios and raisins. Pistachios definitely a wonderful addition to a Persian cuisine, very key ingredient. These would typically be sautéed, but I'm gonna do a little just simple mix-in. Sautéed in butter and turmeric and spices, but just gonna mix them in. And as the rice steams, hoping those flavors will meld with the rest of the ingredients. So onto the saffron portion of our rice. And saffron, a very expensive herb used in Spanish cuisines, Persian cuisines, but this lovely floral rich aroma that if you've never ever smelt it before, it's unlike anything else. So I'm gonna take a hefty pinch of this, and mud crab is super expensive and we're going on the luxury end of things, so not gonna be so skimpy with the saffron. And the threads here, I'm just going to grind them. And I'm gonna add some hot water and a little bit of sugar, and that's gonna be our saffron water, which I'm gonna mix with some of the reserved white rice. Sugar is just a little gritty and helps to grind up those saffron threads. Hot water in to bloom the saffron, and this magic, beautiful color comes right out. And the aroma is just delicious. You may have had dishes with saffron in it. You may not have seen the saffron, but if you ate it and it had this delicious aroma to it, that was the saffron. Just a really delicious, special, unique aroma. And to top it off, a little bit of rose water. So rose water often paired with saffron in many Persian-style dishes. So in order to make what's known as the tahdig, or the crispy bottom on this rice, I'm going to put a couple spoonfuls of the saffron, water in, and that's going to tint the rice. And just to help with that crust formation on the bottom, just a little bit. And this is gonna be a golden crust at the bottom of the rice. And when we flip it over, it should be nice, crispity, crunchy, and have that lovely saffron aroma. Saffron rice done. Let's put it aside and let's build our rice. So I'm ready to assemble everything into the pot, and you have to get something that's nice and thick on the bottom, otherwise we're gonna be in trouble. So a little bit of butter, and I'm gonna just brush this at the bottom of the pan. I wanna have that little bit of buffer, that little bit of browning, crisping from the rice, and the butter is gonna help me do that. So a little bit of butter, and I'm gonna put in my saffron rice layer. This layer is what is gonna form what's known as the tahdig, or the crunchy rice layer. And it's quite interesting because in Taiwanese cuisine, there's crunchy rice at the bottom of the pot sometime, and that's called gourmets. So I'm just trying to pull on the similar cultural references that will maybe strike some familiar bells for people. All right, so we have the herbed rice now, which goes on top. Get that in there, fluffy. And I'm gonna nestle in some of our king crab. And as this steams, the king crab is gonna release some moisture, and just want it to all steam in there, and as the flavors meld, it just becomes a homogeneous deliciousness. And there we go. So nice and full, super yummy. And one final special technique, I have a cloth, I'm gonna wrap it around, and I wanna seal the lid with this cloth on the inside, so as the rice steams again, it's going to trap all the moisture. I don't want any extra moisture in there. I'm gonna let that seal and steam, go on low flame for about 40 minutes, and then we're gonna come back and check on it. In the original dish, there's just that soft, chewy texture of the rice, and me just liking all these different kind of textural things when you're eating, I wanted to add an element of crunch. So what better way than using the rice? And I know that in Taiwan, guoba, or kind of the crispy rice at the bottom of the pot, that is also a traditional thing. So I thought, okay, what a perfect opportunity to give a little bit of additional texture to the rice in my dish. Hello， 欢迎。Hello， 陈师傅，
你好，
陈师傅，谢谢你今天来。Please, please. Hi, Anthony. How are you? Hi, and Ram. Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Well, we're really excited today. Chef Chen brought a signature dish from their restaurant all the way from Tainan.
Nice.
And we're gonna try it. And there's a dish that I came up with that's based on that dish. So we're gonna get to try both and actually just share some really delicious food. So please, everyone have a seat. Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you.
So Chef, you can have a seat here and please, okay. So I will be right back.
All right.
Okay, thanks. Chef Wu was gonna come eat first, but you know, as happens sometimes, people are under the weather. So instead, Chef Chen came from A-Sha Restaurant. Chef Chen is one of the head chefs there as well. So thrilled to be able to share the dishes today with him. Ta-da! Yay! Shifu, thank you so much. So this is your紅蟳米糕, which is mud crab steamed with glutinous rice.
Okay.
And can you tell us a little bit about what's in this dish?
这是我们台湾最著名的台菜之一，这是很传统的台菜，然后这是用米糕，还有我们的紅蟳都是要選過的。你看它这个蟹膏多么的肥美。
Is that why it's called 紅蟳? Because of the red
Yes.
eggs or something?
Because of the roe inside the
Yeah. 然后就跟米糕生的螃蟹跟米糕一起蒸，让螃蟹的汁液可以渗透到米糕里面，然后布满整个米糕的香气。
Okay, so please have some. And you can see there's delicious mushrooms here. You really have to try the mushrooms because they're super delicious. They've been braised and taken care of, and thank you so
Is
much.
that the kind of mushroom that starts in like that big dry?
Yeah, the dried
They're
one.
dried
Yeah.
first?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And so, oh yum. So super delicious. And please dig in. Yeah. And so the specialty is, this is female mud crab, and that's why it's called紅蟳. The male mud crab is not called that, but it has all the different roe inside there. And chefs suggest that when you just bite it, you just kind of chomp down and kind of suck out because
Suck the juice out.
then you get all that, kind of crunch down into it. And I guess this is in a way, it's similar to in some like Middle Eastern and also Indian cuisines.
Biryani.
Rice, yeah.
Biryani.
So what would you typically, is there crab biryani? Probably not.
We have like a biryani is a lot of like we have vegetarian and we make of chicken, lamb, seafood, crab, prawns, everything. And something like this, not sticky rice, but with the basmati rice, Indian rice. So not too sticky, but it's like a more flavorful. Lot of onion, lot of coriander, mint, yogurt.
Yeah.
So we marinate with yogurt.
Delicious, yeah.
Yeah, so if we marinate one day before, so all the yogurt goes inside the meat. So make it more tender and juicy. This is my first time eating glutinous rice with crab. And the crab is not too hard, so it's very soft. It's perfect.
Will you guys use other crabs too, or just 特别用紅蟳配包？
基本上都是以宴席为主。宴席的话，就是要婚庆喜宴，红色大红色因为有红色的蛋然后加上它本身鲜艳红色的颜色，看起来更喜气。对。
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
所以才会特地选用紅蟳。对。
Well, you folks keep eating. I have a couple finishing touches to put on my dish in the kitchen.
All right.
So I'll bring that out and we'll try that too.
Can't wait.
Okay. So save me some.
Oh, no way.
Now for the moment of truth. Here we go. Yes. Okay. So this crab looks beautiful. Steamed. I'm gonna move the legs and everything over here. The rice is here. It's always a little bit of a... Here we go. 1, 2, say a prayer. Ooh. All right, so we have the beautiful rice has come out. I'm gonna garnish. Looks like it's time to bring this out to the table. Here is my saffron herbed rice with king crab. Bon appetit! Surprise!
Wow.
All right, so here is my interpretation of the紅蟳米糕, and mine is saffron herbed steamed rice with king crab.
Oh, looks
Beautiful.
So a little bit like a biryani, but
Yeah,
it's more
look like
Persian
a-
style.
Yeah,
Yes.
more look like it's an Indian rice, right?
Basmati, yeah, basmati. Dig in, help yourself. I'll cut this up, and there's a little bit of rice crust on these.
Which leg do you want?
Here, a little bit of
Take
rice.
this one. Oh, nice. Wow. The combination is amazing. And I taste some
This
almond.
also have a very good flavor.
Oh, thank you. Do you like to eat seafood usually, or?
Oh, I love crab. I was just talking with Chef about
Oh.
different kinds of crabs. So seeing a king crab on this is very
Yeah.
luxurious. And it fits the red feel too for the celebration. It'd be pretty awesome. A very expensive wedding, but
Yeah,
very nice.
yeah.
When Jason brought out that giant crab crawling over the rice, I was like, wow, this is looking really exciting. The presentation has drama, it has excitement, and I love king crab. I mean, the meat legs, I think when you saw me breaking into those crabs, you knew that I was like, you guys can talk, I'll eat on the crab. And then the rice was really surprising. It was like a layered cake, and there was many different textures, many different flavors that were going into it. There was the crispy yellow saffron rice, and then on the bottom there was like this white and very fragrant, like flowery almost. And so when you take a bite into it, like it feels, you can breathe in the different fragrances, and it's really nice. What do you think of the crab versus the紅蟳? I don't know how to say that.
Yeah, I mean, king crab has just a different texture on the meat. I love the紅蟳just
Yeah.
because it's something I can't get. And I just love that this doesn't have roe in it, but the紅蟳has all that roe. Yeah, delicious. Okay, well, keep eating.
可以跟外国人宣传说，我们台式料理有这一道传统的紅蟳米糕。可是我用这个方法去呈现以后，这样的风味的话，其实对外国客人来说真的是很不一样的体验。觉得可以让来台湾试试看。
And I think part of the experience of eating is that whole experience of what you smell, what you see, and of course what you put in your mouth, the texture and the flavor. So the more kind of senses I can get on my diners and the guests here, I think the more successful I'll be. And I think the best food is meant to be shared with people you care about, so I'm gonna get back to eating. But this is Jason at Jason's Table, Masterful Dishes. I'll see you next time. Bye.